So, I know a lot of God's children are in this season of just feeling so hopeless and just so lost, and it just feels like it's never gonna change, right? It feels like maybe you've been stuck in this cycle of just lack of difficulty, loss, back to back to back, and you've gotten to this point where you just feel like, how much more, Lord? Like, when are you actually gonna turn my life around, right? If you are in this season, just know that you're not alone. I know that a lot of brothers and sisters in Christ right now, we're going through the same thing, right? And I'm including myself with that, because the Lord has really been putting in my spirit, I've been hearing my spirit, when breakthrough looks backwards. And that alone is like such a hard pill to swallow, right? Because it's like you're trying to do everything you know how to do to follow the Lord. You're trying to be obedient to everything that He's commanded you to do. But then it looks like things are just getting worse. Like things are just not changing. In fact, it is changing, but for the worst, right? And maybe you've just been in a season where it's like a downward spiral, and it seems like that spiral just won't stop. Like there's no end to it, right? And it feels like God has abandoned you, but we know that's not true, right? But it feels like that. It feels like, I don't know if you've ever said this during your walk with the Lord, but maybe you're saying things like, is this even a joke at this point, or things like that. Like, it gets to a point where you have started to have this false perception of God's character, because you've been believing Him, and you've been going through what you're going through, and you've been believing for breakthrough, but maybe years have passed and you haven't seen anything, except things get worse and worse as time progresses, and you get to this point where it's like you're just so tired and you can't take anymore, right? And it gets to the point where like you literally, mentally, physically, spiritually, anything, right? Emotionally can't take anymore, and I myself have been battling with this for the last 4.5 years. My walk with the Lord has been nothing short of easy, and I'm sure a lot of God's children too, right? And I continue to battle with the Lord regarding this. I'm like, Lord, like, when is it ever gonna change? Is it even gonna change? And maybe you're in a situation where you feel like people are like mistreating you because of your situation, or looking down on you, or maybe you're experiencing like false accusation, and like everything's just pressing in all at once. People are coming up against you, and because of your situation, right? Because like prior to this, maybe the people that you have known, they've seen you when you were doing well, and they didn't treat you that way. But this time it seems to be different, right? But if you're in that situation, I just want to let you know that it's not you. If you're truly following the Lord, right? He even says in the Bible that, Jesus said that if they hated you, remember they hated me first. If you're not like the world, then you won't fit in, and that therefore you will get a lot of hate from people who are walking with the world, and so if you're in this situation where you just feel so lost and just alone and afraid, and you feel like everyone has abandoned you, you feel like God has abandoned you, I just want to encourage you. You know, I know like during those moments, it's almost like there really are no right words to say, because we're in this mental space of just darkness, of just maybe even hopelessness, of just, you know, thinking that we're never gonna get out of it, right? And like sometimes listening to someone talk about certain things and trying to make you feel better may even have a worse effect on how you currently feel, you know. And I don't know what to say. I don't have the right words to say, because I myself have battled through that over and over and over again through this entire process, you know. But I just want to say that I see you, and God sees you, even though he may be silent and it may feel like he does not see you in this moment, you know. Remember that there is always a dark season before the actual breakthrough. And even during the breakthrough, it may look dark, right? Because this breakthrough could also mean that God is working in you spiritually, you know. This whole season, the wilderness season, everything, right? Before the promised land is a whole breakthrough season, because that is literally the process that God takes his children to break through out of bondage, right? And it may not look like what we want. It may not look like how we imagine. It may not look like favorable. It may not look like favor, you know, even though God is actually favoring us and breaking us through this, right? But there's really not much words to say to make you feel better. But I really hope and pray that you do remember that God uses all things together to work for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. So it's not always going to be this way. Even though the dark season may seem so dark and so long and just so never ending, God will never lie. God will never let you down. And God will always be there to catch you when you fall. You know, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted, and he saves those who are crushed in spirit. And sometimes that particular Bible verse is a little bit hard to swallow for me, because through my entire process, I have seen that over and over and over again, right? That sometimes the Lord doesn't save me from that mental state or anything like that until I'm truly crushed in spirit, you know. And sometimes that is so hard to swallow, because we're like asking God, why do we have to get to that point for you to save us, you know? Why do we have to get to pure agony in order for us to actually feel free, you know? And it's a hard thing to say, but you know, the way the Lord made the world is just about that, right? Like even like in science, right, they say that energy is neither created nor destroyed, it is merely transferred, you know. And that is so true, and I'm a firm believer in how science backs the creation of the Lord, right? Our creator, and how he created the world, right? And so like, you know, if you're in such a dark place right now, if you don't know a way out, I pray that the Lord will just provide you with a peace that surpasses all understanding. And I pray stillness over you, because usually in those states of anxiety and just like difficulty seeing clearly, you know, all we need is to be still and know that he is God, in accordance with Psalms 46:10. But during those times is actually the hardest times to just do just that, to do what we need, which is to be still, And for the last few days, I have been seeing so much Exodus 14:14. The Lord is fighting for you. You need only to be still. So I don't know if you're going through a battle with spirits right now in regards to them operating through other people. I don't know if that's what you're going through right now, but if you are, take this as a prophetic declaration of Exodus 14:14 over your situation, that God is fighting for you and that you need only to be still. So I pray this encourages you guys. Let's all stand strong together. Let's all pray for our fellow believers, our fellow brothers and sisters in Christ, because we are all going through battles right now. The enemy is mad because his time is up. And so I just pray that we all as believers come together. There's no more separation, especially for the remnant, right? And I've seen such a shift, and just fellow believers encouraging each other, and that's such a beautiful thing to see, you guys. I love it so much, and I'm sure that the Lord is smiling down on us now, because he sees that we, through this difficult season, through the crushing, right, through everything that all of us brothers and sisters in Christ are going through right now. It's such a dark time for us, but through it, I've actually seen so much fruit of us actually encouraging each other, and just being there for one another, which is truly what our Father wants to see, right? And that's so encouraging to me, and I pray that alone encourages you too. And I love you guys. God bless you. Bye.